So, good evening, everyone. So, I warmly welcome you all to the 10th session of the podcast series conducted by AIESEC National Showcasing Team of AIESEC Sri Lanka. And today we have an interesting topic, which is maintaining organizational productivity through member engagement and retention in a post-pandemic world. So, I'm Shelini, National Partnership Account Manager for Unilever Sri Lanka from AIESEC Sri Lanka for the term 2021. So I must like to thank National Showcasing team for inviting me to moderate this session. And now I would like to introduce you all our guest speakers for the day. So first we have Ms. Randi Munaweera, Local Committee Vice President for People Management of AIESEC University of Peradeniya for the term 2021. And next we have Ms. Mithuni Jayawardana, Local Committee Vice President for People Management of AIESEC University of Kelaniya for the term 2021. So after introducing them, I would like to start the first round of this session. So my first question is to both of you, Mithuni and Randi. What does leadership mean to you? And is there anyone who inspired you to be a leader? I would like to start with Miss Randi. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Shelini. So what leadership means to me is if what you do and if your action and your decisions truly inspire someone to become a better version in their life and to grow more and to achieve something in their life, then you are a leader. So that's the leadership in my perspective. And also being patient and being solution oriented are two main qualities that can be found in a great leader. And about the person who truly inspired me is my father. That's because he doesn't always tells me what to do. Instead, he always shows us uh, how we can act responsibly in all these problematic situations. And his actions and his decisions has always helped us to grow more and help myself to become a better version. And another thing what I saw is he do respect his team he's working with in his workplace, and I've seen that he's gaining the respect in return from them. So that's another great leadership quality that I have seen in him. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Miss Randi. And now, Miss Mithuni, your answer.
Yeah, so thank you, Shelini, for having me. So personally, to me, when it comes to leadership, I resonate with the quote, be the change you want to see in the world. So because in the sense that leadership to me is all about having a certain destination, a direction, and also sort of having the will to guide everyone around us in that direction, like while empowering us, right? So just like Randi said, but when it comes to me, if I have to pick someone who rather like motivates me in terms of being a leader, I can't like pinpoint on one person, because personally I am someone who believes that everyone one path in life and they have their own like different ways in approaching it. And I sort of identify the skills that I can relate to in them with the way that they perform in life, and I sort of pick up on them and then build my own version of being a leader. So yeah, that's my idea on that.
Well, so thank you both for the answers. And my second question is to Randi. So, how do you define productivity from an organization's perspective? And according to you, why is it important for an organization to achieve productivity? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for the question. So what productivity, if I define the basic meaning, The productivity means the relationship between the amount of outputs and the amount of inputs needed to produce a product. So it is sort of a measure of efficiency. So as an example, if we take AIESEC, in AIESEC, measure of productivity we usually do is number of realizations done by a single member. So if we consider that if the productivity rate is low, which means we are limiting the leadership development of our members. So because members are low performing in functions, and what will happen is there will be a lower motivation in them. And in the other way, if the productivity rate is high, which means like if the productivity rate is 1, which means there are no idle members in the organization. So if the productivity rate really increase from 1 to 2, then which means like one person has done 2 realizations, which means that person has gained more experience, more personal development than doing just 1 realization. So increment of the productivity will always help us to develop the leadership in our organization. But just one thing I would like to mention, when it comes to productivity, we do have sort of a limit, because productivity usually differs from organization to organizations, depending on how much time people allocate for working, and what sort of skills the members do have, and the capacity of the members and the commitment. So considering all these, if we really compare the productivity of the organizations, we usually should take same kind of organizations to compare, because productivity sort of has a limit. So yeah, I hope you got the answer for the question that you asked, Shelini.
Yes, it is totally clear. And thank you for the answer. And my next question is so Mithuni. So, as the local committee vice president for people management, in any organization, members, employees play a major role in maintaining organizational productivity. So, how do you explain the connection which exists between organizational productivity and member involvement, especially in youth-run organizations like AIESEC?
Yeah. So basically, when it comes to youth-run organizations, these are organizations that strive to achieve some sort of social change, right, with the help of the youth who are willing to spend their time and energy to give back to their communities. And AIESEC has no doubt become like the world's largest source of youth development because we are passionate about achieving peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. And in order to do that, in terms of member involvement, we are supposed to have members who are equally capable, aware, and passionate about the very purpose. Because as like agents of change, we are the ones who will be setting the targets and mapping the directions, and we will be exhausting those resources in a sustainable way to achieve productivity. And one thing that is very important that we especially have in AIESEC is that this is a two-way process. That means members always have the opportunity to give to the organization as well as take back from the organization to develop themselves, and that in turn motivates them to involve more and put in the hard work for the organization. So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for the answer. It's clear. And my next question is to Randi. So, amidst the current uncertainties caused by COVID-19, what are the challenges that you have faced in ensuring that all the members of your entity are connected towards achieving the organization's main objective?
Okay, so yeah, Shelini, the past few days we've been facing so many challenges due to this current situation. So basically, when it comes to the membership perspective, so basically the members' expectations why they joined AIESEC is kind of different uh, with what we are doing right now. So because there are no exchanges happening, and there are no physical gatherings, no activities like physical activities to be done. So those were like few challenges that we face right now in order to keep up the membership. And also mostly the people are very attracted to AIESEC because of the events that we do, and because of the work, the real AIESEC work that we do. But what we are doing right now are very different and very new things. These virtual online things are sort of new things for us, and of course for our members too. So when we are conducting all these virtual events like the educational sessions, knowledge sessions, experience sharing, even fun-based activities as well, so all these things are sort of a new experience and new things for them and for us as well. So in here, uh, there is a small uncertainty that I have whether these members, whether they like this or not, whether they agree with what we are doing right now or not, whether they like this. So that is, these are the like the main challenges what I faced during this situation. So yeah.
Okay. So my next question is to Mithuni. So, as Randi said, it is true that we all of us have faced many issues with these virtual things happening. So, in the present context, where all the physical activities of the organization are on hold, what are the initiatives that you have taken to make sure that all the members are engaged in activities within the local community with enthusiasm?
Yeah. So basically, when it comes to our local committee, what we thought was during these tough times, it is very important that we ensure that the members are engaged in some sort of activity because our lives have taken a 360-degree turn. So in our local committee, what we did was we initiated an EduCN series which catered to all the functional knowledge, AIESEC knowledge, and just general knowledge that the members needed, along with like interactive quizzes that help them sort of understand where they are in terms of the knowledge that was given out to them. And then we also focused on conducting virtual simulation processes just to ensure that whatever that we were doing is not a one-way process, but the members get to give and take at the same time. Then we also organized programs like My Body Challenges and like cultural fiestas, just to give out the messages that no matter whatever the troubles that we're facing, right, with people all around the world, if you actually put in the extra effort, there is always ways that we can reconnect. And apart from that, I guess just like every other local committee, we've been conducting our LCMs virtually, and we have through that given them the opportunity to connect with prominent personalities in society. So it helps the members sort of understand what they need to do in order to go out to the world there, rather than just like facing it with no idea at all. So those are the things that we have done to engage the membership in our local committee.
Okay, Mithuni, thank you. And my next question is to Randi. So, as we all know, we used many strategies before this pandemic situation. So, do you believe that using the same retention strategies within the organization will be effective and sufficient to keep the members engaged and motivated while ensuring the productivity of the organization in a post pandemic world?
Okay, so Shelini, my answer would be no, because as we are currently working in an online world, we cannot sort of use the same retention strategies that we have used previously. So basically, we need to now we need to do things more in online. Like we need to do more online things to retain our members. So in AIESEC in Candy, we did webinars, quizzes, and we did AIESEC e-candy sessions, and very recently we did sort of a different online session called Lesson for Future. So those new strategies, new events will be very effective to keep up the member engaged and motivated. So that's what we believe. Uh, but in other hand, like the thing about you said about the productivity, ensuring the productivity, I do have like it's kind of I do have sort of a doubt in there because it is kind of difficult to ensure the productivity right now because this is my perspective. So because as an organization we measure our core productivity by number of realizations done by a single member. So we are a leadership development organization, and we develop leadership mainly through cross-cultural exchanges. So as I said in the very beginning, what productivity is the relationship between inputs and outputs needed to produce a product. And the question comes is, when the final product is not here, the final product is not functioning, the exchanges are not happening, uh, how can we measure the productivity? uh, that is sort of a doubt that came to me, because there's no product, so there's no final product in order to measure the productivity. So like no realizations to measure the productivity. So if one thing what we can do is, if we sort of change the way that we uh, measure the productivity currently just for the current situation, then of course we'd be able to sort of measure the productivity. But uh, even after post-pandemic world, even if the exchanges happen, uh, we can measure productivity. If exchanges happen, of course we can measure productivity in the way I said at the beginning, but it will be very low, because even the membership is highly engaging and highly motivated, but if there are like limited number of exchanges happening maybe all over the world, then the productivity is gonna be very low. So summarizing what I said is, yes, of course, like the retention strategies, we can use new innovative retention strategies in order to keep the members engaged and in order to keep the member motivation. But the place where I have the doubt is when we are ensuring the productivity with the current measuring method, there is sort of a doubt, like without the product, how are we going to measure the productivity of this organization? So yeah, that would be my view on this question. I hope you understand, Shalini.
Yes, so I understand, and thank you for the answer, Randi. And my next question is to Mithuni. So it is clear that in order to mitigate the consequences of an unexpected pandemic situation, replanning and adjustment to new ways of working are essential. So therefore, what are your plans to adapt to the challenges which will occur in the future?
Yeah. So when it comes to any organization, I guess replanning is on top of their list these days. And one thing that we have to focus more on is that when it comes to this situation that we have faced, it's that when it comes to replanning, we have to not only think of the near future, right? We have to just think for a few more, like maybe the next 3 to 5 years. And because why I said that is because right now even from the health and safety perspective as well, there is no solid output as far as I'm aware. So when it comes to planning for the challenges, I would summarize it in three words, that is reflecting, recommitting, and re-engaging. Right, so when it comes to reflection, I guess that is something we have been doing as an entity and within all our local committees and expansions, so as to like predict the future and just be ready for it. And apart from that, I guess safety is going to be one of our most top priorities once we actually like restart our activities. And we are obviously going to adhere to all national and international safety measures that are put. And gathering also will be minimized unless of course it's an emergency. Then we would put more focus on being a resilient organization alongside being efficient, because it's important to be quickly adaptable just in case another wave or another unpredictable situation occurs as a result of like this pandemic's like recovering stages. And then another thing that we would adapt to or rather focus on is financial stability, because this pandemic situation has done no good to any of the economies. So we would obviously focus on like newer revenue streams and focus on cutting down costs as much as possible, which personally I believe to a certain extent would happen on its own, because we would not be having many physical gatherings for the times to come. And in terms of HR, this is my personal opinion, right? I don't think we should focus on any massive recruitments unless or otherwise we see the absolute need for it. Because in a time where organizations are laying off employees, I don't think it's right for us to recruit members without having the chance for them to learn and develop. Right, and also we have to reschedule the standard working times as a result of working from home, while also, as we've been doing, remapping of job descriptions and other functional materials, I believe, as we see fit to the needs of the future in terms of like society and economy. And lastly, I think one thing that we have to focus on is like of hybrid working situations, that is if it ever comes to it, is where some of the members would have to return to working on site while the others remote workly. So I guess those are a few things that I can think of when it comes to adapting to the challenges that we will face in future.
Well, so thank you, Mithuni and Randi. So with this, the first round of this session is over, and here we're going to start the second round, which is rapid fire. So in this, I will be providing two or more options to a speaker, one speaker. So you have to choose one from them. So first, I would like to start with Miss Mithuni. So yeah, so you prefer chocolate or caramel?
Chocolate.
You prefer quality of life or quantity of life?
Quality of life.
Dawn or dusk?
Dawn.
Lead from the front or lead from the back?
Lead from the back.
Direct or conflict avoidant?
Direct.
Being a world citizen or empowering others?
Empowering others.
Well, thank you so much, Mithuni. And next, I would like to go with Miss Randi.
Yeah.
Okay, so you prefer morning, noon, or night?
Night.
You like to listen to music or read a book?
Listen to music.
Well, texting or talking?
Texting.
Okay, so you are strategic or transformational?
Transformational.
You are thinking or feeling?
Sorry.
Thinking or feeling?
Thinking.
Okay, and being self-aware or being solution-oriented?
Being solution oriented.
Okay, so with that, the second round is also over. And now I would like to invite our guest speakers. If you have anything to say to the audience as a message, now it is your chance. Randi, you can start.
So just a little message. What I want to say to the listeners is, anyone can run away because it is super easy. But facing problems and facing the reality and working through them, that's what makes you strong. So what I want to say is, stay strong, stay positive, and stay safe.
Okay,
So
thank you, Randi. And Mithuni, it's your chance.
So, what I also have to say is that every dark cloud basically has a silver lining. So, you might not see the impact that you create with every little action that you do, but you just have to believe that every good you do is surely going to come back to you, and just for everyone to stay safe these days.
Well, thank you, Mithuni. So, with that, we have come to the end of this session. And before concluding this, I would like to thank the National Showcasing team of AIESEC Sri Lanka. And again, I would like to thank Ms. Mithuni and Ms. Ramdi for sharing your insightful thoughts with us in this session. And again, thank you all and have a good day. Good evening, everyone.